We've qualified for the World Cup. Go and compete.
We'll talk about a bit of football. Sorry,
Yeah.
now I'm eating an olive, so.
Oh, actually, Adrian,
Mhm.
if you can get to the English market, that little place in the middle has some quality. We got olives with almonds in the pits earlier.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're to die for. Yeah.
To die for.
Yeah.
I would die for those olives with almonds.
Have
you tasted them?
Yeah.
I have actually, yeah. I wouldn't die for them. I wouldn't even kill for them, frankly.
I wouldn't even commit assault for him.
I wouldn't associate them with any kind of death.
Shame.
We were in Paradiso last night for Emma's birthday, and they give you a big little bit of olives for the table instead of bread. Oh yeah, they're good.
Oh yeah. Happy birthday, Emma. And also I like the little bits that you get, the little bonus bits you get from some restaurants too. You know, a few breadsticks. They go a long way.
Oh, they do. Focaccia. Love a bit of focaccia.
Yeah,
and actually, this past week, I bought a bottle of olive oil for €20. You can believe it.
I can.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
It is. My God. What a difference to everything.
It's worth €20.
I think so. It's a big bottle. Like, it'll last me a couple months.
Like, I can appreciate that it's better, but is it 10 times better?
Like, I could just have that with just bread. Like, just bread and some olive oil. I'm happy.
Yeah. Like, when you make your own pizza, and you know, when you get
salad dressing,
regular pizza, when you get like regular pizza and it's greasy, and you think olive oil on top of that would be a stupid idea. When you get a good pizza, with some olive oil on top,
it's like
game changer.
Absolutely. Because in a lot of recipes they say finish with a drizzle of olive oil, and sure the shit we'd be drizzling on it is like cooking detergent or whatever. Like fucking, it shouldn't even be called an olive oil. It's just, you know, it's like something drained out of a car.
Yeah, it just slides right off. If it's cheap olive oil, it just slides to the side.
Yeah.
Not good.
This is good stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, I was in Spain last week and we asked for some olive oil for the table because he gave us like bread with nothing. So we were like, can we have some olive oil? And he took that as, I guess, some sort of challenge of his knowledge or something. So he brought over like a tray of olive oils, and he was like, this is olive oil number 1. This one is a bitter olive oil. It's going to be really good with XYZ. And he poured like a little bit into a ramekin. And then he was like, now this is blah, blah, blah. And this is going to be spicy. And this is going to be blah, 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 blah. And then the last one was like, this is really soft or whatever. Look, they tasted a little bit different. The spicy one wasn't spicy. The bitter one was probably the least bitter of all of them. And the soft one that he said just tasted like normal olive oil. So I don't know. I was like, that was a waste of time. You made yourself look like an asshole, and it's just olive oil.
And do you know what a lot of people do? They put garlic or some other kind of something in like a bottle of olive oil for flavor.
Chili or something.
You can't do that really unless you balance it with some vinegar or acid, because I think it's called botulism. Like garlic, anything root, like anything you pull out of the ground, if you put it in oil, it can. I don't exactly know how it works, but botulism is like a kind of food poisoning you can get, that it multiplies in oil, especially, like it's fucking spreads very quickly. And if you put like a clove of garlic in a bottle of olive oil, you can get very, very sick from it, unless you have some kind of like vinegar in there. But loads of people would do it,
because that's like a thing that they do a lot on like Instagram and stuff, is like that thing where you cook down the garlic and then you put in a load of olive oil and you leave it in the fridge and it's good for like 3 months. Like, it's not. It's not at all. Do not do that.
Yeah. And even cooking it, even like frying the shit out of the garlic, like burning it, won't kill the. I don't even know how to say it. Botulism. Yeah, it's scary enough.
Yeah, but a lot of like the food trends lately, like I'm thinking of like BuzzFeed and things like that. If you follow their recipes or watch their videos, I know we were talking a few podcasts ago about the Irish fella that was like cooking that soup where it was clearly it was not cooked. But like It's always that, like ridiculously edited, but people
Yeah.
buy it.
Like
It's,
all these BuzzFeed videos about food, it's generally just shitloads of cheese.
yeah.
How
And if
much
you try
cheese
them,
can you fit in it? Like,
if you try them, they really don't work that well. I've
No.
tried one or two and
No.
been like, yeah, you made that look easy, but it's actually not.
yeah,
No.
absolutely vile.
And there's this trend too of like scraping a knife on everything to show how crispy it is.
Oh, so stupid.
Yeah,
So
but, like,
stupid.
Go grab anything and scrape it with a knife. If the knife
Yeah.
is sharp,
Yeah.
it makes a sound. Like it doesn't. Yeah. Anyway,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
fuck BuzzFeed.
another trend they do is they replace some kind of meat or whatever in the dish with like Kobe beef, medium done Kobe
Yeah.
beef steak or something, and it's like this hamburger, this Big Mac costs $500 or something. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's
There's too many gimmicks.
fucking Americans.
Yeah, or just like a really authentic Italian dish, or like what did I see recently? Like what's the Greek dish? Like kind of like a kebab, gyros, is it?
Yeah, I think like
Yeah.
gyros or gyros and kebabs and shawarma are basically all the same thing. They're just from different
Yeah.
countries with different names. Like they're the same
That-
thing.
that all hate each other, so they call
Yeah,
it something.
so they call it
different.
something. It's like, no, this is not doner. This is gyro.
but like American version of that by putting in, like you said, steak. It's like
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be done.
I know.
There's probably nice American pork, surely.
Americans just obsessed with eating steak and gold.
yeah. The fucking the stickers of gold on top of food is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. How
Yeah.
do you know? How do you know that is gold?
I know, yeah. This fucking the tinfoil you'd wrap like a Ferrero Rocher in or something.
Yeah, that's it. Ferrero Rocher are recycling to the American market.
Salt Bay, yeah. His kitchen's just full of old wrappers of Ferrero Rocher.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like it's complete. It's fraudulent. Complete fraudulent.
Last time I was in Paradiso, I asked because I know nothing about wine, and I was trying to look a bit mature. I was like looking at the wine menu, and the waiter was standing in front of me, and I was like stroking my chin, like, which wine would you recommend? And he was like, well, all the wines are paired with the menu. I was like, oh,
Oops.
okay.
It's just like shit. I didn't prepare my counter question.
Yeah, it's like, sir, just any of the wines. They're like, they all work. You fucking idiot.
We wouldn't sell them otherwise.
It sounds like he didn't know enough.
Ooh, there's a good chance.
Like
There's
that's
a
a
good
safe
chance.
answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Dickhead.
Thinking back now, if you said, everything on our menu is delicately chosen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna be like,
Can you expand on that?
Yeah.
No,
Can I
I
just
can't.
Explain that.
3,000 word essay?
I know. Like, how old was this guy?
He was middle aged,
No.
about 15 years older than me.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he was like second year of college or something like that. Would have been great.
No.
Like that olive boy or
Yeah.
olive oil boy.
Mm.
Dickhead.
He smelt a tourist and said, "I'm gonna go show off to these now and get myself a big fat tip."
Oh yeah.
And he
He
gave him
didn't.
nothing.
And actually, another guy. I probably had the worst service in my life in Spain. Like,
Wow.
they were so rude. This one guy, I was at a table and they're really slow generally. It's not like in Ireland where it feels like they just want to give you the food and get you out.
Yeah.
This is like, we'll get to you when we get to you. And then I was like trying to order, and he like everything I said, he was like, huh? Like what? Like what are you
K?
what? Yeah, like K, like, and I was like, it was like fettuccine or something, you know, it was like universal, like fettuccine, like pointing at it on the menu. He was like, ugh. And then I asked for white wine because they didn't have a drinks menu, and he was like, like what? Like what? You want white wine? I was like, yeah, I fucking do. And then the best bit was he was serving a table behind me, and he had like the tray in his hand, and he spilt like a whole glass of Coke like down my shoulder. And he was
Oh,
like,
wow.
"Oh my god!" And he was like cleaning it up, and I was like, everyone at the table was like, "Oh my god, like, are you okay?" And I was like, "Look, it's happened now, whatever." He was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And he was like, he had like covered all his pants in coke, and he was like, "Oh no, I am not!" And he like ran off, and I was like, "I don't really give a shit if you're okay or not." And then we wanted to pay separately. God Almighty, it was like for the thousands and thousands of tourists who go like through the middle of Malaga every day, it was like he had never heard of the concept of paying separate.
Hmm.
They don't want to is the difference, I think.
Yeah, of course, yeah, but like tough,
I
Yeah.
know, yeah,
How else are you going to get your money?
exactly. Well, I guess we just won't be paying that.
Exactly, yeah. It was like, well, no one here can afford this whole bill, so tough.
Yeah. Yeah. I really think though, I used to work in obviously restaurants, hospitality and stuff, but like I'm kind of a little bit more, I don't know, sensitive to good or bad service. But like when you get bad service, you get like you can't shrug it, can you? Most people don't go back if they'd have a bad service. I know you were in a different country, like, but if you got bad service in Cork, you probably wouldn't go back. It's important.
No, yeah.
To be honest, I don't think I've ever had really bad service, at least not in Ireland. When you go on holiday, like a lot of times you go on holiday where I've been, they've been fairly touristy areas and like they don't give a shit. And I expect that. So whatever. But like in Ireland, I don't think I've ever had like really bad service where I've been like, Jesus Christ.
Mhm. I agree. Yeah, sometimes they're a bit inept, but it's never rude. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what I hate. I'm sure I even said it with one of you guys recently. Like, I hate when they take an order without writing it down.
Mm.
I never trust that. When someone
Yeah.
comes up and there's a table of 4 and they just take it all into their head, I'm like, nah, this isn't Dino's. Like, it's not the same.
Mm.
which which is another point really. It's very impressive how like the lady in Jackie Lennox's like memorizes everyone's order for like
Fucking
10 people in
supercomputer.
advance.
Like she should be playing
Yeah.
fucking chess. Like
it's really something.
Yeah, that's a real skill.
Yeah.
mm. Although
But
to be
like,
fair,
they
it's
only
like,
have to
yeah.
turn around.
No, it's a god.
Yeah, no, they just have to turn around and say it to the person next to them. They don't have to like walk back to the kitchen and relay it to the chef and
Yeah.
and remember that there's no peppers in the fucking whatever.
Yeah.
It's true.
I suppose they only have like 3 ingredients in their food anyway, so some combination of them is what they want.
Yeah.
Fish, chips, burger. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. You could probably get the combination wrong and still be right.
Yeah, pretty much. And sure, if you give someone the wrong order, they're probably not going to bother coming back anyway, being like, I ordered a cheeseburger and this is a regular burger, which has happened to me many times, but I never bother going back because it's like, fucking slice of cheese, an easy single, like,
Yeah.
even though they
remember that.
charge money first, like an extra
Yeah.
euro.
Ridiculous. I remember the Rasa Grill was terrible for that after nights out, and like the kind of attitude was just like, but you've had a few pints, you'll literally get what we give you in this bag.
Yeah.
Be like a fucking mystery box.
Yeah. It's like, we're out of chips and we're out of burger buns, but can we give you a lot of prawn crackers or something?
We still
That's
do
right.
it though. Yeah, there's worse. To kind of set the scene, right? We're recording just after Arsenal have beaten Wolves 2-0.
Yeah.
It was already guaranteed because of the early kickoff, but Arsenal are 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League at Christmas.
With a games in hand over everyone out in the city.
Yeah. Can they do it?
I mean, straight into January now. 1 or 2 signings in January just fucking push the boat out. Like, forget about like 5-year plans. If you push the boat out and sign like 1 or 2 players, you can win the league this season. I think they can do it. I believe it.
Yeah. You've had nothing but misery since the podcast begun. So we're all rooting for you.
I'm looking at the games and it's like Arsenal are fucking hammering almost everyone they come up against. Like the games are not close. Like there's 1 or 2 results. Like I'd say there have been like 3 games in the league against United, against Leeds, and I'd say that was really it. Where I was thinking we weren't better team, and even against United, should have got
Yeah.
something. Like every other team, they fucking walked through them easily.
Mhm.
Now I don't know what the World Cup will do because fucking half the team going to the World Cup. What's going to happen when they come back? But the same can be said about City. So
Well, more so with City, really.
Yeah.
There's like,
Yeah,
what do they have, like 21 their squad? Crazy.
mm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like City just look a bit shit. Well, don't want to say shit, but they don't look that good without Haaland. And we did say he couldn't keep it up. I mean, no one can get a hat trick
no
a
one,
game
yeah.
like for
Exactly.
38 games, and
Yeah.
he's pulling up with little injuries. He's drawing blanks.
I mean, I said this. Who the fuck did I say this about? Like we were recording a few years ago, where it was like some fella, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. When Dominic Calvert-Lewin was on like a scoring streak, maybe 2 seasons ago or something, and people were like, he should be getting called up for England. He should start for England. Can he keep it up for Everton? And I was like, they were like, how can they figure out how to stop this guy? Because he's so big and strong and he wins all the balls. And I'm like, big, strong centre forwards have been around since the fucking dawn of man. And they are like the number one thing people figure out how to deal with after a little bit. And people will figure out how to deal with Haaland same way. Now, Haaland's better than Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but he's not going to be fucking destroying teams every single week. He's not Messi. He's not even Ronaldo. Like, not even Mbappe.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I'm not as convinced by this City team. I do think they're very much, Haaland, Foden, and De Bruyne, who
I
are
mean,
like
yeah.
3 unbelievable players, but.
They're thin enough. Like, people go on
Other
about their
than that-
massive squad. You look at that squad. Who do they have
Yeah.
other than like Rodri, De Bruyne, Haaland, and Foden? Fair enough, great players.
Yeah.
The rest of the team,
Yeah.
they're no great shakes.
No,
and they have
I
a
don't-
few like I don't know what's with the defense, but he's playing like a different defense every week. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Diaz was
That's-
meant to be
yeah.
the best centre back. Didn't he win like Player of the Year there like 2
Mhm.
seasons ago, and now he can't even get a game? Well, like, what's that about? Is that rotation? Is it injuries?
Well, that's the thing, is that this is the thing with City. Everyone's saying it's the best squad the Premier League's ever seen, and they were when City were on that winning streak and stuff. But like, all it took was a Kyle Walker injury, who is 32 years old, for exactly what you just said, Hanley, to happen, where the backline just kind of gets a bit messy, and they start leaking goals like this, and they start underperforming and conceding goals where they wouldn't. I mean, even look back to the Manchester derby. Like, they still shipped 3 goals against the United team that struggle in general to score. And yeah, it's just how fragile is this best team in the world when Kyle Walker gets injured, and it seems like everything kind of goes downhill from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm getting more and more convinced by Arsenal. I heard the commentator today say something strange that was like, Arsenal are very good when they're ahead. He was like, they're very good when they're in front. And I was like, they're pretty good when they're not as well, though. Like, they went in at half time, and it was like there was this narrative of like, oh, can they do it? Do they have the mentality? But like, they never really looked like they weren't going to win the game. To me, anyway. I mean,
I know.
the Wolves crowd were on it, but like, they never really did. They have any actual chance to really score?
Exactly. Wolves broke once or twice, and it fizzled out almost immediately, and that was it.
Yeah. And you've had the injuries. You've had the well, I know Xhaka went off today.
Oh yeah.
And Zinchenko was injured for a good while. Tomiyasu playing Ben White at right back and stuff.
I know.
Did you have another couple of injuries? Maybe.
Yeah, well, the backline's been shifted around a lot. The main thing is that fucking Thomas Partey, this guy, to me, has been player of the season. Forget about Haaland, but Arsenal need central midfielders because who knows?
The implications.
Who knows what's going to happen? One injury or something else, and you're down to playing El Neni and Sambi Lokonga, and they're not good footballers. So
So is that where you think in January now? Like,
oh yeah,
because I agree
centre
with you completely.
midfield,
Like,
centre
yeah, you've
midfield without a doubt.
yeah, it has to be right. Because I agree with the kind of like splash now because you might never get this opportunity again, like in terms of planning.
Yeah,
But is there anywhere else? Like, I don't know.
right wing.
Jesus,
There's no one to
yeah.
replace Saka, and Nketiah is not a good player either. So centre forward, fucking hell.
There's a Shakhtar Donetsk player linked to
Yeah,
Arsenal quite
I
a bit,
know,
isn't
for
there?
like 50 or 60 million though.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Who is
And
he?
he'd just be on the bench. I think it's like Mudryk or Mudryk. He's
Some lad.
like some 20-year-old or 21-year-old Ukrainian right winger.
Yeah, classic Arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Fucking centre midfielder now, a backup, or even someone to compete with Saka, and like someone better than Nketiah. I mean, what are you saving the money for? You're going to spend 100 million next season anyway. You might as well spend it in January, because fucking hell, you'll never get this chance again. Pep will be back next season with a whole new starting 11, some fucking other robots.
Newcastle will have had
Yeah.
4 windows up with their money.
Liverpool.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're coming.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like Pep has to do a rebuild because, like you said, Walker is 30 something. De Bruyne is probably pushing 30.
He's over 30, I'd say, isn't he?
Is he?
Let me have a look.
Mahrez needs replacing.
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva was supposed to go.
Yeah.
Bruyne's 31.
De Bruyne is 31.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Calvin Phillips is 26. If you'd have told me he was 20, I would have completely believed you.
Jesus. Yeah.
Jack Grealish is 27.
The game's gone.
Yeah.
Game's gone.
27. Like, here are we being like 27. He's finished.
Yeah.
I was
him in the
finished
bin.
at 27.
Fucking hell. He's like mutton.
You know what else I think works really in Arsenal's favour this season, and it's pure coincidence, but Arsenal's toughest patch is nearly the exact same as City's toughest patch of fixtures too. You both play United, Chelsea, Spurs, and Newcastle, like basically alternating in that same period.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, you're kind of safeguarded by City dropping points or yourselves dropping points because they're likely to do the same.
I know. Look, I'm on the wagon because at the start of the season, it's like, fuck it. Oof. Not going to happen. Don't get your hopes up. Now, top league, going into the break, over a third of the way into the season, with like a 5-point lead, game in hand over everyone except City. Fucking might as well enjoy it. And sure, if it all comes crumbling down, whatever. Sure, we'll have the crack.
That's the main thing.
That's the main thing.
That's it. It's all about the journey.
Yeah.
It's all about the journey.
I'll just freeze this moment in time. This moment when I thought Arsenal, we can win the league. Happy out.
The next podcast we record, it will be like, never mind. I've just forgotten the name of the sitcom.
Well, I was just going to say, it's crazy how quick things flip. Like, it's like last season, I was kind of where Flynn was, and Flynn was where I am. It's like literally, it's not
anything's possible.
It's not a soft decline or a soft rise. It's always like, shoo.
Sure, yeah. No, Liverpool will be back next season. They'll be back at the end in this season. Sure, they'll have top 4. It'll be fine.
Yeah, there's
I know
Liverpool have had a bad time. They're 6th.
Darwin Núñez like firing.
Yeah. Champions League is close.
Yep. Yeah, missing some key players.
Yep. No Diaz.
No Matip.
Jota.
No Kanate.
No Jota. Yeah. I mean, if you think about the players they don't have, it's, I don't know, probably about 150, 200 million.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't do the maths on that, so I have no idea. But, yeah, we'll be fine. Núñez, what a player. What a player.
Oh, what a player.
People talk about Haaland. Haaland was like, bang! And
Yeah.
then,
He shot his
flash in the
load.
pan. a
Exactly.
Flash in the pan.
Exactly. What does he bring to the team other than just tapping in at close
Yeah.
range? Like Darwin
Núñez-
Núñez can do it all.
He'll be doing it for the season. He'll be doing it for the full season. I don't know how many goals he has. I need to look that up.
And in terms of like an investment too, Haaland, he might have a hot season now. We're already seeing him decline. I mean, he couldn't even go 10 games, bless him. But he could throw a tantrum and fuck off to another club. Núñez, he bleeds red. He's a cop-eye.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't pay. You can't put value on that.
Nope. Núñez has nearly a goal involvement per game.
Fair play.
Can you believe it?
Jesus.
5 goals. Oh no, that's wrong. That was a wrong stat, everyone. I read it wrong. But he has 5 goals in 10 appearances, which isn't that bad. Plus 2 assists. Yeah. He'll come good. And considering one of those he was sent off, that doesn't count. So yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, more than a goal every 2 games. Kind of.
Wow.
Wow. But look, when you compare him to Anthony, who cost the same and isn't even playing, sure, look, there's no
Oh
comparison.
my God, Anthony! Like, come on, this fella. Why is not more being made of this? What a fucking disaster he has been.
We've just become so immune to United spending ridiculous amounts of money on average players that this isn't even like surprising.
He's
So this was-
fucking shit.
10 years ago, we'd be howling. Like we wouldn't have stopped laughing.
Can you imagine?
Some of us haven't.
Can you fucking imagine 100 million for this Joker?
Yeah, but do you remember the piece of trickery he did against Sheriff in
Yeah, the
the
little spinny.
Christ.
I mean that's what you pay for.
I worry for United now. I worry for him. They spent all this money, Shreven Jadon Sancho. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
It's very strange, and they started to have a little bit of a comeback, and then Unai Emery just put them back in their box.
Look, yeah, I mean, that was always going to end in fucking tears for him. Anyway, you knew that. Like, come on. Unai Emery out for blood. But no, Ten Hag, he's got the right idea. Give Ten Hag time and he'll put the team right, but they cannot spend another 50 to 100 million on some shite right winger.
But they will.
Oh, they will, yeah, they will.
It's inevitable.
And Casemiro. I mean, people forget.
Oh my
I actually
God.
kind of forget that
Oh my
he
God.
wasn't a free transfer. Because even as a free transfer, I'd say he wasn't a great signing.
Yeah.
But they spent like 60 million.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, on a guy to go just come on holidays.
It's like
Yeah.
what they did with Schweinsteiger, but like 60 million
Yeah.
worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you know what's going to really rattle me too? Is that Brazil are going to have a team that's going to get to like the final of this World Cup with Casemiro and Fred in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And by none of their doing are going to get to the final. But United fans are going to say about their elite players reaching World Cup finals.
Oh, God, they flatter to deceive.
Is your man Anthony there as well?
He is, yeah. He won't start.
Yeah.
He hasn't a fucking hope again.
Oh no, Jesus.
I mean,
That
when
said,
it was between him and Joelinton for the space, for fuck's sake. Like that's all you need to know.
They left Bobby
Yeah.
Firmino at home.
I know, like everyone talking about the Brazil team, it's not what it's cracked up to be. It's really not.
Argentina look good. Argentina have a better team.
Do you know what?
They do.
I had a look at the Argentina team and I knew about 3 players.
Messi.
Otamendi was one as well, which isn't
For
ideal.
fuck's sake.
But like that's the thing, because I was going to be like, well, look, I mean, I'm not a good tell of if a player is any good or not, but like, if even I don't know them, they can't be that fucking good. Now, in fairness, Di Maria, I mean, I know him. Martinez, overrated. Your man McAllister, come on,
Oh, yeah.
seriously?
Hang on. Oh, actually, yeah, that's fucking Brighton player, isn't he?
Yeah,
Who is it?
Dybala. I mean, I know Dybala and Correa. In fairness, I do know a few of them, but there's a lot of them I don't know.
Emi
Never heard of.
Martinez in goal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Christian Romero, centre back.
Mm,
Probably their weakest link, him and Martinez.
yeah, not convinced by their defense.
No.
Midfield, McAllister and never heard of him. DePaul, never heard of. Paredes, Gomez, Fernandez, just all these South American names, but I don't know who they are.
It's just missing them.
Who are they? Like, tell me who they are. Tell me they're good, and I'll believe you.
Oh yeah.
I
DePaul
can't. Rodriguez.
did DePaul, did he used to play for like fucking Atletico Madrid or something?
Yeah.
Let me click on him.
That'd be
I'm just
funny.
thinking.
Click on him.
He sounds.
There's this fella Enzo Fernandez in centre midfield. He has a bit of hype from Benfica. Asher just looked the ball up to Messi. Fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, it is Messi time. Like, but
Play 8 centre backs. That's not the worst idea. I should be managing Argentina.
That's like
saw-
West Coast League tactics.
I saw a post the other day that was, you know, these like appreciation posts that's like, oh, put respect on his name, or like,
Yeah.
love to see it, that kind of thing. And it was a quote from your man McAllister being like, when I was playing for Argentina, the team started calling me Ginger, and Messi told them I don't like to be called that. And like a big love heart at the end of it, and like, oh, what a leader. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, where, number one, where did that quote come from? Like his autobiography? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And number two, who cares?
Yeah.
That's the most non-story ever.
That reminds me of Theo Walcott having an autobiography or a biography at like the age of 22 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My journey.
I mean, that was the entirety of his fucking career was in those years, in fairness.
In fairness.
But the Argentina hype, as valid as it is, I reckon they're in for a tricky group. But if they can get out of that group well, then yeah, maybe.
We just want Messi to win it, really.
Yeah. Even
We do. We do.
Yeah, we
In
do.
this fucking shite World Cup in fucking Qatar in the winter. The one thing that would make it better is Messi winning it.
Yeah, it's true. It is pretty mad to think that, like, we just said it a minute ago, that like Arsenal are top at Christmas, but it's the 12th of November.
I know. What the fuck?
Yeah. But Argentina, Mexico, that would be a nice little grudge match. Central and South American teams, when they play each other, it's just a punch up. So that would be nice.
What's mad? Yeah. I can't wait for America versus Iran.
Have you seen the Iranian like football federation's logo?
No.
No. Is it the same as
I-
ours?
It's the same color as their flag, green, white, and red, and it's IRA on it.
Oh, great.
Oh.
So when they're playing England, that'll be gas.
Yeah.
Gas. It'll be the bomb.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm looking at some of the teams that I forgot are even there, like Croatia. No hype around Croatia.
Sure, Modric and the lads are 100 years old.
Yeah.
They've had their time.
Portugal, another team that I
Yeah.
looked through and thought I'd know more than I did.
You know the Portuguese team.
Hang on there now. Hang on. I mean, I know some of them. I mean, I know Ronaldo. I know Cancelo.
Bruno?
Yeah, I guess I know Bruno. And where is it?
Have
Did
the
he make the
Wolves,
cut?
Wolves players.
Pepe?
Pepe's still going.
He is, yeah.
We just saw half the Portuguese team lose tonight anyway. With a whimper. Yeah, I wouldn't hold out much hope for them.
No, Wolves are rock bottom. We touched on it briefly, but like the World Cup is like very close. It's very close, and it doesn't feel right. There's been like no lead up to it, no build up to it. Maybe now after this weekend, but it's hard to get hyped up for it. But how are we feeling about the Qatar 2022 World Cup in November?
Depressed.
Yeah.
I'm not depressed. I'm just indifferent, I think. I mean, I'll
Press
still
it.
watch it. Like when it's on, I'll end up watching it. Even though, do you know what? I usually say that when I have like the RT channels. I don't have that anymore, so I don't know if I even will. But at least like there will be football on every day. And even when like,
I suppose.
I mean, I wasn't that interested in the Women's World Cup, but I still watched it just because it was on every day. So it'll give me something to watch in the evenings. But I'm not excited. No. Are we going to do a sweepstake? We are.
Yeah, I suppose we
Yeah.
are.
Like
We
at
should-
least that gives it some interest.
We
But
probably need to organize that this week. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
sure, it's starting. When's it start?
about a week.
the 20th.
Fuck. So like a week. Yeah. Christ.
I know.
Oh
That's the
no.
thing, right? If this was not in Qatar and was like the end of May, like we'd be hyped.
I'm gonna put that in the group chat right now.
Well, all
too.
we need is someone with pieces of paper and a hat. Like, I mean, it's not.
I could do it. No
It doesn't
bother.
take it. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't take that much planning.
I'll draw Brazil in
But,
the front for myself.
I remember I was doing one for a group of my friends before, and they were like, I messaged someone who just wasn't that into football, but they were like, yeah, I'll do it. Just make sure I get someone good. I was like, but that's not how it works. For fuck's sake. I think the hardest thing is picking. So, say if there's 8 people doing it, it's picking the 8 teams that go in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
You use the bookies
what's
odds.
Yeah, that's true,
Yeah.
right? You go for the
Yeah.
but then it throws up a few. I remember the last time we did it, I got fucking stitched up because I got like the lowest fucking seed for like the best
Yeah.
pick,
Yeah, you were fucked.
and then the best of the best of the rest. It's like, oh great, like I got Switzerland and
Yeah.
Croatia. I was like, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, like you don't want to get Costa Rica or something just because they're above Belgium for some bizarre reason,
Yeah, like there's what? There's gonna be like 20 teams. If there's 10 of us doing it, so like really we can get rid of like the likes of Saudi Arabia and shit. Like they ain't gonna like. What's the point? It's a waste, isn't it?
Because is that how we'll do it? We'll do a top 10 team and then best of the rest.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right.
Feels cleanest.
Many would say that that's a fairly unclean way of doing it, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, well, there's a World Cup in Qatar, Adrian, so there's nothing clean in the world at all.
I know.
Isn't it going to America next as well?
Well, that was the thing, right? What people reckon is that the whole reason that Russia got it the last time was that the US was supposed to kind of get this one, and it would have been like a peace thing,
Right.
because that's what they use the Olympics and stuff for. Well, I have done over the years too, isn't it? It's that kind of like it's bring everyone to a country that might have some issues, and we'll all be friends there, and this will help ease tensions. And it's never worked.
Yeah. You'd wonder why they keep doing
Do you know,
it.
like if you gave me a world map and said point to Qatar,
Hard enough.
I don't think I'd be that close.
It came up on the World there the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tiny.
A few guesses.
Yeah.
So it's all there's loads of like breakaway. They're all next to Saudi Arabia because it used to just be like whatever that empire was before, like place like Bahrain and stuff too, right? They're all just breakaway segments of formerly that.
Yeah. Ottoman.
Ottoman, yeah. Crazy bunch of lads.
Bit of business there, yeah. Do you know in the Ottomans, they had harems, like the sultans had harems of like they'd pick whatever women they wanted, put them in the harem, like, and they'd basically just sex slaves, and they'd have
What's a harem?
It's like sex slaves, basically. Like the women in like they'd be housed in the palace in their like private section of the palace, and the sultan would just go in there and ride a lot of them, and that was it. But they'd have like 50 kids, like, because they had no contraception, or maybe they did. They had some fucking mad stuff going, but they'd have 50 kids, and they wouldn't
Pull out.
Yeah, hard enough to do. I'd say 50 different people, but Sultan would pick who his like successor was going to be. Like it wasn't just like the firstborn son. The Sultan would be like, okay, it's this fella. And when that happened, the fella would almost instantly have to kill all his brothers because the other brothers would try to kill him to take his place or whatever.
Right.
Like every time.
In what context? Like he'd name it, and then your man would literally have to turn around and fight them all with a sword.
I don't think so. I don't think it was as immediate as that.
So it was just an undertone of like, I'm naming you, like wink, you know. What you have
pretty
to
much.
do.
It was like, oh,
Okay.
Sultan likes this fella. We need to get rid of him. And then he'd be like, okay, we got rid of him. Now what do we do? Well, I think I should get the job. Like,
This is some
do you?
House of the Dragon shit, like.
Oh, very much so. And you know, another thing is, it was like written into their law. I think they took a lot of laws from the Byzantines, which was the old Roman Empire, which was if you're disabled or like deformed, I guess they would say, if you have like missing fingers or something like that, you can't be the emperor. So what they'd often do instead of killing people would be they'd blind them. They'd blind them by holding their heads over pots of boiling vinegar.
Oh no!
Yeah, just a lot of blind fellas running around the place, like bouncing into walls and God knows. It's a very interesting time period.
There's some crazy stuff come out of it. Yeah, like I mean, was it Attila the Hun that like his genetics still like exist in the world because of how many women he impregnated?
Oh yeah, well I think that was more Genghis Khan, but yeah,
Genghis Khan. Sorry, yeah,
one far off, I'd say.
No, they set a target. And,
I know,
did quite well.
I know, yeah.
Fucking mad cunts.
That's right, yeah. Come on, Turkey in the World Cup. Are they even in it?
There.
No, no, they're not.
They've not been the same since. What was it? The 2002 or the '98 World Cup that they got to like the third place.
2002, I think.
Yeah, fucking nuts, really, when you think about it.
Them and South Korea.
That whole tournament was corrupt, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
South Korea. Yeah, they actually bribed people, didn't they?
If you look back at the highlights for, I think it's the third place playoff, or else it's the quarterfinals. It's
versus
ridiculous.
Italy, I think.
Yeah. It's crazy bad. Like, I mean, it's really bad. It's funny, like well, what I was going to say was, like, you know, Ivan Toney is being investigated for betting and stuff. Like, you don't see that much stuff that you'd be like, that's fixed. I mean, not in the Premier League. So then when someone like Ivan Toney is being investigated for betting, I'm like, what? Is it because he told his friend to bet on plus 20 throw-ins and like just boo-hoo the ball out too much? Or, you know, it's so bizarre to me. It is. It's like, what's the big deal?
There's a bit around it, actually. If you look at some of the 90s, the games in the 90s, apparently betting on football, like between players and like Chinese syndicates, was like huge. And it was always on the like really obscure, like it wouldn't be Brentford to win today. Like that would be very obvious if it was kind of like deliberately faked, but it would be for like the first throw in, and it would be down to like just before the game. So like whoever won like the toss, if they do a toss or whatever, you'd often see back in the late 90s that players would just kick the ball out to like the as far as they can out left from kickoff, direct from kickoff, and they'd have some fella run down to it to try and like compete for it, but it goes straight out, and then it would be a throw in the first thing, and it was like to bet on the other team to get the first throw in of the game.
Yeah, but like, you know, who's the bad guy in that? Like, who's losing out? It's just the bookies. Like, who cares? Do you know what I mean?
That's true, you know. It's a good point.
Yeah. And if anything, they should be exploited because they're doing the same in reverse.
Exactly. It's like, they get away with it. It's all set up for them. But sure, no, you can't do it. You can't game the system.
No, and like the old kind of excuse was that like all players back then, you know, they weren't earning a lot, so they, you know, this was obviously very enticing to them. Sure, Ivan Tony doesn't need to, but it's still there. That's if he's guilty, but like it still goes on.
I've heard that WWE, as a form of like, instead of giving fellas bonuses, what they would do is they would tell them the result of like an upcoming match at like WrestleMania or whatever. They'd say like The Rock is going to win, beat Mick Foley or whatever, and they'd tell the wrestlers this so they could go out and bet on it, and that would be their equivalent of a bonus.
Fuck's sake.
They're so tight, like, aren't they?
Yeah.
It was just so like give them nothing.
Yeah, they're really badly treated. I think their contracts are like desperately bad. Well, they're probably grand for like the big lads, like the Stone Colds and stuff, but I'm sure I remember Matt Hardy or someone saying that like if they got injured, like they wouldn't have their medical bills paid and stuff. So that's why they all used to wrestle through injuries, because if you went for surgery, like, you know, medical bills in America are crazy. Yeah. So you'd have to pay your own medical bill, and then you'd be out of work and you wouldn't get paid. So that's why they just wrestled through fucking broken necks and whatever.
Yeah, American healthcare is fucked.
It's crazy,
like if people get shot and they're like, don't call an ambulance because you'd have to pay for the ambulance then.
You think there'd be more, or maybe there is, but you think there'd be more, like, you know, during like prohibition and stuff, there was like people making alcohol in like their bathtubs. You think there'd be more like pop-up medics that would be kind of doing like the underground calls where if you know someone gets shot and they obviously don't want to go to the hospital, they'd be like, "Go on, jump in the back. I'll do it for half the price."
Yeah,
that's a business opportunity. I mean, if anyone's up for it,
there you go.
Join me.
That's for the Shark Tank. On the Shark Tank with that.
Yeah, is that the one where they're like, you know, I want $100,000 for 10% equity?
Yeah. It's like the Dragon's Den, but for the US.
Oh yeah. I'll put a pitch together.
Do.
Yeah. The thing that I kind of wanted to talk about other ways, and it's a bit of a tangent back to football, but maybe it's a bit of a hot take, but I happily never listen to any sport, especially football, without a commentator ever again. I think they bring zero value to any game, and they're more annoying than they are, you know, enjoyable.
Absolutely, I know, but it's just because people find it awkward. Just the noise of the crowd on TV. I think they found when they started putting live sports on TV first, like fucking decades and decades ago, that people just found it a bit weird. That it was just this crowd noise. It's like they couldn't decide whether to pump the crowd noise higher and just have it be like white noise. It'd be just like static coming through the TV, or to just have someone talk. They just went with someone talking.
I think Martin Tyler is clapped out. I think he needs to go. I think he's
shocking.
He just sounds so disinterested, and like he's there with Jamie Carragher, and there's like a little quip somewhere and no one reacts, and there's just silence after it, and it's awkward. I just think he's done. But Peter Drury, people go mad for that guy. They're like, this guy is a modern day fucking Shakespeare. So it's like, yeah, he used some alliteration there in his. You know,
I find it infuriating because like he's usually paired with like Lee Dixon, who has like the vocabulary of a sponge, and they put them together, and he'll say this elaborate sentence about football, and Lee Dixon will be like, "Ha, yeah, they'll give it a good game today." Oh, it's like, what's the fucking point? Like, I could do that.
The fella I hate most of all is that American. Anytime I have to watch an American stream, he's not American. He's like Ray Hudson.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
Oh man, he's just over the top. He
fucking mugged off the Americans anyway by like conning his way into that job, because the Americans, they don't know their fucking what football is like. They don't know what it is, and they're just like, bring in anyone who sounds British or whatever. And Ray Hudson comes in and starts giving these fucking ridiculous commentary pieces, and the Americans go mad for it because they don't know any better. But anyone watching it can tell it's kind of like a counterfeit British commentary. It's so weird. and horrible, like so over the top.
Yeah. It's just maybe it needs to change. I know that commentary on football was like an evolution from listening to it on the radio, which people would have done before TVs or when TVs weren't as accessible. That makes sense. If I'm not watching anything, then yes, I would like sound. But if I'm watching something, it provides its own sound. That match, it's so poor, and I think it's the same as like managers these days. It's just that anyone who wasn't a fantastic football player, but maybe has some connections, is now a pundit that gets called an expert. They don't really bring anything extra to the match. Like the game I was watching the Palace game today, and I don't know who the commentator was, or the co-commentator. And Eze took this wild shot that went miles wide, and this co-commentator just piped up and said, "I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. He's a young lad. He fancied it. He tried it. I don't mind that." And by the time he'd finished that sentence, the ball was he'd gone out for a goal kick. The goal kick had been taken, and the ball was at midfield. Waste of time. Stop speaking.
Mhm.
Yeah. Remember when they used to have the fake crowd noise during COVID?
Wow, yeah, fucking hell.
I
I
can't
blocked
believe
that
we
out.
I can't believe we lived through that.
Good God.
Yeah. And when it was a bit delayed as well, like the ball would have gone wide,
Yeah.
and it'd be 1 second, 2 seconds. Oh.
Or it would hit the side netting and they'd be like, ah! Oh.
Yeah.
The-
They could do nothing right, can they? Sky Sports can do nothing right.
Yeah. But sure, they have a monopoly on it.
Yeah. That's what they set out to do.
Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot all about that. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah, bad
Yeah.
enough. And now we're entering into time of no Premier League with fucking Qatar World Cup that we don't care about. I don't know. It's bleak. Bleak times.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm glad the Premier League is back on Stephen's Day though, because if it wasn't,
That'll be nice.
that would be not very Christmassy for me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So at least that. It's just a shame we have to wait 6 weeks for that to happen.
Yeah. Are we going to record during the World Cup?
But maybe we'll do one at least.
Yeah.
I guess we
We'll
have
do-
to.
We'll do a live commentary of Qatar versus Ecuador.
We might do one after like the group stages finish, and then another one after the final.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's fair. Because the group stages are the best bit.
Oh, you see some mad shit, yeah.
Yeah. And the way the games are is with it being like it's Qatar first playing, and then it's like the England's group after that, which isn't bad. Senegal, Holland, England, Iran, USA, Wales. There's a bit of interest.
We're actually going to watch the Qatar football team play. Like,
They've
These-
had some wild build up to this this tournament, but go on.
it's going to be like watching fucking Argentine Rangers.
Ireland played Qatar like a year ago, didn't they? Did we win that game?
We were one of
Surely.
we were one of the first teams to play them in a friendly in their emergence for this for the bid. And I remember because it was like Doyle, Long, and David Meyer were playing in that game, and each of them featured in some way in like scoring or assisting or clean sheet, because they're all former Cork City players. So it got like
Mm.
a bit of hype in the League of Ireland. But yeah, Ireland were one of the first teams to encourage this shit. So yeah, thanks, John Delaney.
Well, a parting prediction that I just came across from Dion Dublin is the golden boot for the World Cup. Maybe if you want to give your prediction for golden boot for the World Cup first before I give Dion Dublin's.
Darwin Núñez.
Okay.
Who else? Mbappe.
Yeah.
Neymar. Messi.
Mbappe,
That was
Neymar,
hard.
Messi. Kieran, do you have any?
I'm gonna say Messi because I think Argentina have the best chance against the final, but they've also got like Saudi Arabia in their group, so they could put like 8 past that
Mhm.
team. You know,
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
But they might rest their players for that, though.
it's actually their first group game.
Oh.
So
No,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. They'll
Messi's
come
getting a
out and
hat-trick.
fucking destroy Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Decapitate them.
I hadn't thought of it, but I mean, like Mbappe, maybe Neymar, someone like that. I don't know. They're all fair
Harry Kane.
guesses, I think.
Penalty
yeah,
king.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, Dion Dublin thinks it'll be Richarlison somehow.
Idiot. Like,
Dion Dublin forgot his meds.
What the fuck?
Back to the nursing home, Dion.
That guy won't even play. Like, fuck's sake. Anyway,
you never know. I don't know. Does he start for Brazil? They have a weird lineup. I think like that fella Lucas Paqueta starts for Brazil for some reason.
Yeah, let me see their last competitive lineup. Geez, they just play friendlies.
Oh, they play
Anyway.
so many friendlies.
Yeah, the lineup was Alisson goal, Dani Alves right back, Telles left back, Milito and Marquinhos centre back, Bruno Ramirez, Fabinho, Coutinho, Paqueta, Anthony, and Richarlison up top. that is a weird lineup.
Junk.
still, he's not going to be Golden Boy or Golden Boot.
Or golden anything.
Golden anything? No.
Well, we will see. I suppose how many listeners will listen back on this very podcast after the World Cup and see how we got it spot on yet again, like all our Premier League predictions. So jot them down and we'll come back to them.
Did we make a prediction for the winner of the World Cup?
We didn't need to. It was right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know. No, we did right. Argentina, yeah? The PUPcast supports Argentina in their pursuit of...
Yeah.
Or Messi.
We support Messi. I don't care about Argentina at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So...
Messi et al.
Yeah. Just trying to find the Spanish for them. Thanks for listening.
Buenos dias, el cerveza.
Let me see. Siri's gonna tell us.
Gracias por audio. I'm probably not far off.
There we go. I don't know, did you hear that or not?
Crystal clear.
What the fuck?
Maybe I'll play it louder.
Gracias por su atención.
All right. I had the first 2 words right.
Yeah, in fairness. Por favor.
Yeah.
We got it there. All right, well, up the Argentinians.
Yep. You'll never Argentinian alone.
May the Argentinians rise to meet you.
Yep. On the way.
You've been listening to the Put 'em Under Pressure podcast. For more of our content, make sure that you follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. Outro music.